Welcome to my graduate project presentation. My name is Marcus Kim, and this is for Computer Science 597 Part 2. And today I'll be demonstrating my app that I built for iOS for beginner drummers who are trying to build coordination. So I'll go ahead and open up Xcode and compile my app. Alright, so this is the home screen of my app. You'll see at the top, it's called 4Brains. That's the title right there. In the middle, we have all these rectangles. Those are called beat cards, and each of them holds 4 notes and or rests. Along the left side, we have the mute buttons. Each mute button corresponds to one instrument. We have the ride, snare, bass, and hi-hat. On the right side, we have the snooze buttons that have these little Z's, and each one of these snooze buttons also corresponds to one instrument. Down here we have what I call the play panel, and basically this holds 5 buttons that include the play button, the metronome on and off toggle, BPM adjuster access button, the subdivision button, and the randomization button. So how does this work? Basically, the notes and rests on the screen make up one beat, and when you press the play button, the app will scroll through the different patterns and play the beat for you. So let's just demo that and see how that works. Okay, so that should give you an idea of how it works. The notes and rests in each beat card are being played out by the instruments. You'll hear the 4 instruments: ride, snare, bass, and hi-hat. And the first thing I want to show you is the randomization. So when I press this button in the bottom right, that looks like a shuffle button, it randomizes the beat cards, these little rectangles on the screen, to make a whole new beat. And when I play the play button again, it'll play the new beat, which is different from the old beat. Okay, and you can randomize it as much as you want. The next thing I want to show you is the muting and snoozing. So instruments can be muted. So I'll go ahead and mute all the instruments right now and press the play button. You'll see that none of the instruments actually play. There, so you just see the metronome. And the benefit of muting instruments is that if you want to practice a pattern without hearing the actual sound, then you can do so. And that's sometimes helpful because if you play along with the actual recording of the sound, your actual drum set might be cluttered and intermixed with the sound that's coming from the app, and that'll be really confusing. So sometimes you just want to mute the instrument. The other feature is snoozing. So let's say you only want to practice the ride cymbal, then I will snooze all the rest of the instruments, and only the ride cymbal will be visible and audible. So if I go ahead and press play here, so that's an example of an unsnoozed limb or instrument, and that allows you to just focus on however many limbs or instruments you want to practice on at a time. And basically the benefit of that is that you can start with one pattern and then work your way up to 4, and then when you're playing 4, you have a 4-limb pattern or 4-instrument pattern, and you're well on your way to becoming coordinated. Next feature I want to show you is the metronome on and off toggle. So if you listen closely, you'll hear a beep. Beep, 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 beep. You can actually turn that off and only practice with the sounds. So if I turn that off, it'll be X'd out on the screen, and I'll press the play button again. You won't hear the beep. So that's how it sounds without the metronome. Next thing after that I want to show you is the BPM adjuster access button. If you press this button right here that says 60 right now, it'll take you to another screen, which is the BPM adjuster access screen. The BPM adjuster screen. You can slow the metronome down and speed it up. So I'll speed it up to, let's say, 120, and we'll see how that sounds. Okay, so that's 120 BPM, and we can slow it down to 30 and see how that sounds. A lot slower now. Okay, so you get the idea of increasing or decreasing the speed. Now, when you have a slow speed like 30 BPMs, it's kind of hard to keep your place in the beat because the metronome beeps are so far apart. So that's why I've included the subdivision button, which can increase the number of beeps. So if we increase it to 8 beeps, it'll sound like this. See, a little bit easier to follow. And then we can increase it to 16 beeps, which will be 16th notes, and it'll sound like this. So there's more checkpoints, basically. Each beep is a checkpoint that realigns you with your place in the beat. And the more checkpoints or beeps there are, the easier it is to keep track of where you are. So that's basically the app. I appreciate your time today, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.